Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by King of the Cage Strawweight champion, Danielle Taylor. Danielle, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for this opportunity on interviewing me.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for doing it. Danielle, you got a fight coming up August 29th at King of the Cage, Bitter Rivals. How's training been going for the fight?
Well, so far so good. It's been pretty intense. I'm at a new gym now. I'm at Saxon Muay Thai in Van Nuys, and it's been working great. It's been tough, but it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Just curious, why the change in training?
Well, I switched gyms just because I felt like I needed a striking coach, somebody who was going to really be there. That was something I've been lacking in. The one I used to have is a great coach, but it was just his schedule and my schedule with work and stuff. It always conflicted. So I just wanted to try something different, and so far so good.
So you're no longer at SoCal Fight Factory?
No.
Just curious, is this just where you do your stand-up, or do you do all your MMA there, even though it's a Muay Thai gym?
Yeah, I do all my MMA there. They have a jiu-jitsu coach and all that stuff, wrestling program. So.
When we talked over email the other day, you said that you were originally supposed to fight Glenna Avila. You were supposed to have a rematch with her on August 29th, but you said she backed out. What do you mean by she backed out? Was it that they offered her the fight and she turned it down, or did she get injured and that's why she can't fight on the 29th? Could you clarify what you meant by she backed out?
Well, when I was signing my contract with Mike Lowe, pretty much he told me that my opponent was changed. And I asked him why am I not fighting Glenna again? And I guess she had some prior obligations, I'm not sure what, but she will not be fighting on August 29th. Mm-hmm. So he told me who my new opponent was, and I said, okay, well, I'm just going to keep training and get ready for her.
You were supposed to have a fight back on June 14th at King of the Cage Sanctioned. You were supposed to fight Stephanie Frosto. She ended up getting injured, and she was forced to pull out of that bout. Now, I've heard multiple stories. I've heard that they tried to find you an opponent, and they couldn't find you anyone. I've heard that they found you an opponent, and then the week of the fight, your new opponent backed out. I've heard that the day of the weigh-in, there was no one for you to fight. King of the Cage said they were still going to have you fight on June 14th. So they had you weigh in, and they said they'd find someone. You know, I've heard so many different stories. So what is the true story? What actually happened, and why didn't you fight on June 14th?
Well, the Stephanie Frosto thing, she got injured. That's what they told me, and they're looking for another opponent. So they said, continue to train, get ready. And so that's my job. I'm a professional fighter. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to show up to my weigh-in. And I was ready to take whoever they found. I sold a bunch of tickets. My family, friends, and coworkers were going to come out and support. So I was ready to leave it all out there. Day of the weigh-ins, they said they didn't have anybody, and they were going to keep searching. That's why I like King of the Cage. They were going to keep trying to find me somebody. But it just didn't happen. That's all there was. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get the fight. I showed up. I made my way, did my portion, and the fight didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Was that awkward on June 14th, watching the fight with the people you invited and the people you sold tickets to, watching that fight on fight night? Because they came there hoping to watch you fight, not hoping to watch the fights with you. So was that awkward, watching the fights with the people you'd sold tickets to?
No, it wasn't really awkward, because at the end of the day, it's, you know, in my line of business, fighting, sometimes that happens. Mm-hmm. And my family, my friends and stuff, people who care, they should understand. I can't control that part of the game. Mm-hmm. So they came out, they still supported, still had a good time, and there's still a bunch that are ready to go to the next one.
Okay, so there's not been a drop-off. You still are expecting the same crowd that you had last time.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Maybe even bigger, because it's going to be a little closer.
Okay. Interesting. I'm very surprised that you've had such a rough time finding opponents, because, you know, it's not like, you know, you're bouncing from promotion to promotion. You're the champion for King of the Cage. So I would expect, you know, people being lined up because everyone wants to take your belt, but you've had problems getting opponents. Are you surprised that you've had such a tough time? Because after all, you are the queen of this division.
That's true, but I also see it in a standpoint of, the UFC, they have 115 women.
Right.
So maybe they're like, well, do I really want to fight her right now, or do I want to keep my record pretty clean? They don't want losses on their records or to get hurt or anything, So I just see it maybe on their standpoint, they just want, okay, let's get some easy fights, let's build that record, and get to the UFC if they make it,
Right. How shallow do you think the pool for fighters at 115 outside the UFC and Invicta is? How many people are out there that are worthy of being a challenger? Is it a very shallow pool?
I wouldn't say shallow. I think there's probably a lot of people out there. There's a bunch of people, because I know this sport is growing, especially that Ronda's becoming a superstar. Women are starting to see it's possible. We could train hard. We could be at her level at one point or at some point in our career. So I feel there's probably a lot of people out there, but whoever they're willing to put in front of me, I'll take it. I'm ready for it.
Just curious, that last fight that was supposed to happen in June, you sold all those tickets. Did they give you a cut, at least, of the tickets? And some promotions, if you weigh in and successfully make the weight, they also give you show money. Did you receive any of that?
Yeah, I still get a percentage of the ticket sales and show money, but I don't get the full fight thing since I didn't actually fight, and it didn't count as a fight on my record since I didn't get into the octagon.
Right. What about sponsors? Were they good? Did the sponsors honor the agreement you had, even though you didn't fight?
Well, the whole sponsor situation, I'm starting to get more sponsors now because at my old gym I had some sponsors, but now that I switched gyms, it was kind of like, okay, we sponsored you through this gym, and, it was a whole little thing that happened after I left. So I didn't really have to worry about too many sponsors because I didn't really have that many after I switched over to this gym. But now I have a couple of sponsors.
When an opponent backs out or when an opponent can't be found in time for a fight, a lot of fighters who this is all they do, the only way they can make money and provide for themselves is through mixed martial arts. It's a very devastating blow. But for someone like you who is on the other side of the fence and works a full-time job, and this isn't the only way they make money, does it make it a little bit easier? Yeah, I know you've done all the training and you really want to showcase yourself and you want to defend your title, but does it make it a little bit easier to deal with knowing that you have another way to make money outside of mixed martial arts?
Well, it was still, of course, a fight doesn't happen. It's still frustrating because you trained, you did what you had to do to make it. But, I work for the LA County Sheriff's Department as a custody assistant, so that does help that I have another source of income that's a steady source of income. But it sucks because I have to burn time. I still have to use my own time to take off to make sure, the week of the fight I have it off, the week after, or whatever time I need. And when stuff like that doesn't happen, it's just I wasted my time, on the books.
Now, coming up on August 29th, you're going to be fighting Valerie Maija. I hope that's how you say her name. How much do you know about her? Well,
I don't really know too much about her. I was watching a few of her videos. She looks pretty solid on the ground. I'll give her that. Her jiu-jitsu is pretty solid. It shows that she competes a lot. But as of her stand-up portion, I don't know too much. It doesn't show too much on her videos, and some videos are really 2 or 3 years old. So I don't like to judge too much on that because it's an older video. You grow. So I just know I gotta be well-rounded. Working my stuff. I'm working a lot more jiu-jitsu. So I'll be ready. If it does go to the ground, I'm ready. We stay standing up, I'm ready.
Obviously, this belt means a lot to you, and being the champion means a lot to you, but I'm just curious as to why. Why does this belt mean so much to you? Is it because you've been fighting for King of the Cage a very long time? Is it because you're the first ever champion, and it's good to be the first? Or is it because you won the title for King of the Cage as an amateur, and now you've come back and captured the belt as a pro? I'm just curious, why does this belt mean so much to you?
Well, with this belt, the King of the Cage belt, yes, I was their amateur champion. And I'm not going to lie, I really like this promotion a lot. They've always done right by me. This is the first time a fight ever fell out, but they were trying their hardest to get me another opponent. And my whole professional career has been with King of the Cage. So I wanted to have their belt. I wanted to show them, yeah, I had it as an amateur, and yes, I won it as a professional. I want to represent their belt, wear it well. I'm the first ever 115 champion professional for them, for that organization. So, yeah, it does mean a lot in that way.
Danielle, we'll end on this. It's a little segment I like to call Really Random. That's where I ask you a random question and you give me the real answer. Some of these questions are custom made just for you, and some of these questions are random ones that I ask everyone. So here's the first question. Superpower you'd love to have?
A superpower. I guess to be extremely fast.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to get touched out there.
Okay.
Have a career and not be able to get touched because I'm just too quick. I think that'd be nice.
I've noticed that in all your fights you wear a superhero rash guard. In one of your fights you were Batman, one of the fights you were Spider-Man, and one of your fights you were the Punisher. I'm just curious, on August 29th, can you give us a hint of what superhero we'll see?
Well, there was a few. I'm still trying to decide which one I want to wear, but I do like the whole superhero thing. I feel like I'm trying to make it my own. Like, I love it. I've always been into that stuff, and I have a couple that I was thinking about wearing. I have a Bumblebee from Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
I have Flash, and then I have the Hulk. So I'm just, we'll see. When that day comes, see which one I really feel like wearing, and that's what you guys will see me in.
Okay. Just curious, the fight that was supposed to happen in June, what were you going to wear then?
Bumblebee.
Okay. I was just curious about that. And I like that. Keep doing it. Keep doing that. That's good marketing. I like that. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Now, you tried out for Season 20 of The Ultimate Fighter. That was the all-women's strawweight Ultimate Fighter that season with Anthony Pettis and Gilbert Melendez as coaches. I'm just curious, how was that experience? What was that experience like trying out? I know you didn't make the show, but, looking back on it now, how was that experience?
It was a great experience. Just to go through the whole process to see how it is, how the whole tryouts, getting there early, staying the night in Vegas. I really enjoyed it, and it was actually nice to see this is the next level of competition. I felt like I'm ready. Just rolling around, being able to roll with one of the girls who made it on the show, Heather Jo Clark. Mm-hmm. I felt like if this is the next level, I'm ready. It was a good eye-opener.
Did they give you a reason for why you didn't make it onto the show? Did they give you an actual reason?
Pretty much they just said if you don't get picked, not because we don't like you, either you don't have enough experience, or they said something else. I wasn't too sure, but when I tried out for that show, I was 1-0. I just had my debut professional fight, and so whoever won that season was going to become the champion. So I knew it was kind of a far shot, but I just wanted at least to try out and see.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite movie?
Tough one. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Man, threw me off with that one.
Okay, how about this one? What's the movie you've seen the most times?
The most times? Bridesmaids. I like that one a lot. It always makes me laugh.
Okay. Who's your celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush? I always thought Jake Gyllenhaal was pretty cute.
Did you see Southpaw?
No, don't say it. I've been working a lot, so I still want to go see it. Trust me. That's on the top of my list.
What's your pet peeve?
Something that really gets me annoyed is when people are chewing gum and they're just smacking.
Okay.
Being out loud, I hate that.
Okay. Time period you'd like to go back and visit, and why?
I think probably my sophomore year of high school. I was on the basketball team at that time, the varsity basketball team, and I was having fun. I did something to get kicked off the team, and if I could go back, I probably would change that. So,
do you want to tell me why you got kicked off the team, or is that too personal?
No, it's not too personal, but it was just dumb stuff. I was young. We're going to an away game, me and some of my friends. we're all excited, like, oh, we're traveling. And then one of my friends like, oh, I bought some alcohol on the bus, and we ended up having a few sips. Nothing much. I didn't like it, but ended up getting caught in trouble and thrown off the team. So lesson learned, but yeah, if I could go back, because I used to really love basketball back in the day.
Some kid stuff got you in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard you describe yourself as a striker, but I've seen a lot of your videos, and are you sure you're not a wrestler? Because I've seen you hit some awesome takedowns. Are you sure you're just a striker?
Well, that's the thing. I feel I'm more a grappler, because that's where I started off with this whole. Even before I started fighting, I was competing in wrestling and jiu-jitsu tournaments a lot. My old coach told me, hey, you should try MMA, and I wasn't really sure. I was like, well, I don't have hands. I never, been into a fight. So that's when I actually started working my hands more. But I feel everybody who sees my videos, a lot of them think I'm just stand-up, but I came from the ground base, wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
Person you look up to the most?
I'd have to say my mom. She's really, really hard worker. She taught me to be a hard worker. And she's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but she's a perfect role model. Independent. When she wants something, she works hard and she'll get it. And so it makes me work hard, and if I want something, I work really hard and I'll get it too.
And I've seen some of your posts on social media. A very beautiful woman. Now we know where you get your good looks.
Oh, that's good.
What does she do for work? Supermodel?
No, she works for the courthouse in Lancaster. She's a JA, judicial assistant.
Okay, interesting. Just curious, because your last amateur fight was a loss. I'm just curious, whose call was it for you to go pro? Was that always the plan, win, lose, or draw, that last fight, that you were going to turn pro? Why did you go pro going off of a loss?
Well, this is what happened. I won in October, and I was scheduled to fight in January, and that was supposed to be my last pro fight. And then I was going to go. My last amateur fight, and then I was going to go pro in March. And so I was like, oh, it's my last one, and pretty much I just thought it was just going to be. I took the fight for granted. I was like, oh, this is some chick. I don't know who she is. I didn't train. I barely trained. I trained a little, but it was only a little bit. I just slacked off and thought I could just walk in there and walk through her like all the other chicks. And yeah, it was a tough lesson learned. I gassed out, got tired, and I knew after I lost that fight, I'm going to train extremely hard. And when I have my pro debut, I'm going to destroy this chick. And that's what happened. It was just a tough lesson learned, and I was already scheduled to go pro.
What's the best thing that ever happened to you?
I guess the best thing, working for the Sheriff's Department. I love it. I do plan on becoming a deputy sheriff. And, so far, I guess that's the best thing.
Okay.
That's all I can think of right now.
Okay, nice. Number one thing on your bucket list?
I do want to go skydiving. That's something I've been wanting to do, and I'm thinking after this next fight, I want to do it. I might do it on my birthday. I might do it in September. That's something I've always wanted to do.
I know in the past, but maybe it's not on the table anymore because you left that gym, but I know in the past your coaches were trying to persuade you to go down to atom weight and fight at 105. Is that something that you're still thinking about?
Well, I spoke to my new coach about that, and I don't know. He made a good point. He said, yeah, you can fight at that weight class, but he doesn't really see the point why I would want to. They don't have that weight class in the UFC. I always saw it as I see fighting as a resume. You're building a resume. If I have 2 belts, that looks better than just having 1 belt. I could hold 2 belts in one division, or 2 belts in 2 different divisions, I mean. But it's still kind of up in the air. My coach, he doesn't really think I need to. It's something I kind of want to see, hey, can I make the weight? And if I do, why not fight in that class too? I'll have more options. in case, say, somebody falls out, well, let's go down and wait or go up a little higher. It's kind of up in the air right now. I don't know if it's going to happen. Some I'm still talking things out with.
Right,
Coach.
right. I know you said that you love fighting for King of the Cage. Obviously, you're the champion of that organization. But I'm just curious because a lot of people assumed whoever didn't make it onto season 20 of The Ultimate Fighter, Invicta would sign all those fighters, and that would become their new 115-pound division because a lot of the women who made it onto The Ultimate Fighter and now fight in the UFC came from Invicta. I'm just curious, did you ever have any talks with Julie Kedzie or anyone from Invicta?
Well, with that, I'm under contract with King of the Cage. So I can't fight for any other promotion unless they buy me out. So I signed a 8-fight contract. So I have 5 more fights.
Oh.
After that, I'll be a free agent if I choose not to re-sign with King of the Cage. So, but we'll see.
Okay.
That time comes.
Last question before I let you go, and I really appreciate you being so generous with your time.
No, thank you. I appreciate you doing this.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
I could change one thing about the world. It's a tough one. I think. Well, I'm thinking if I could change one thing about the whole world, I feel like, medical, dental, I would make that free for everybody. That's something I could change because I know how important it is, and if you don't have good benefits and stuff, I think something like that, it should be free. When people don't have that and they're just going to have to suffer, they're just going to have to, But if I could change one thing, it'd be that.
Danielle, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Well, with my sponsors, I'd like to thank That's It Fruit Bars. Thank you for sponsoring me. I love your fruit bars. They're amazing. And Red Gear, thank you guys for sponsoring me as well. I appreciate the gear. And I can't wait to fight August 29th. Yeah, that's it.
Danielle, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. And best of luck coming up on August 29th.
Thank you.